Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask Prashanthi. I'm your host, Prashanthi. I'm an immigration attorney, and I am here to help you tackle your questions, those real and pressing concerns that you have about your visa or your green card, citizenship, and everything in between. We pull questions from our website, from YouTube, and from our social media, and we answer those questions for you. So, can't wait to answer your burning questions, so make sure you post. Let's pick up the first question. The first question is from my YouTube channel. It's from Anand Babu Polisetti. And the question is, hi, if I am in the USA on an ESTA visa waiver program, am I allowed to apply for H-1B in the US without going to my home country consulate? The answer to that is no, you cannot file for a change of status on a ESTA or a visa waiver program. ESTA visas are usually given for citizens of certain countries. And while you can apply for an immigrant petition, meaning you can adjust your status to that of a green card, you cannot file for a change of status to another non-immigrant petition. The second question is from Amisha Kadam, and this H1 is from my website, posted on my website. And the question is, can I switch from H1B to L1A for different employers if I'm fulfilling the L1A criteria? Yes, absolutely, you can switch, provided, of course, you meet the criteria, as you just mentioned. In order to get an L1A approved, you have to show that you worked for that particular petitioner for 1 year out of the last 3 years as an executive or manager level position. And of course, there has to be a relationship between the two companies, etc., etc. So as long as you fulfill all those criteria, you can definitely file a change of status from a H1 to L1. And of course, to file a change of status, you always have to be in status. So you have to submit status documentation showing that you're in H1B status, your pay stubs, your I-94, etc. The next question is from Arti Kulkarni, and this question posted on my website. If your time permits, can you provide an insight based on the recent inventory release from USCIS and its effect on EB2, EB3 visa movement for India? So yes, the latest USCIS latest inventory release in June continues to show substantial backlog in I-485 cases for both EB2 and EB3. And they look at cases from 2011 to 2014, all the priority date window. And we can see that there's significant number of cases that are still pending. There are about tens and thousands of pending cases before 2013. EB3 India also, that's for EB2 India. EB3 India also shows similarly high volumes centered around 2012 and 2013. And this shows that because there are so many cases that in the pipeline, that there is still high demand, and we can't expect that the cutoff dates will move forward very quickly, because in those years there were many cases filed, and those cases are still pending. And this large pipeline of cases vastly outweighs the visa supply or the visa number availability, and that's why you have cutoff dates. So just to recap, unfortunately, the news is that there are a lot of cases pending. Therefore, we don't expect rapid forward movement in either EB2 or EB3 for India. And since your question was specifically for India, I hope I answered your question. The next question is from Sandy Callis, and this question is also posted on my website. And Sandy asks, I'm on a B1, B2 status, currently in the US. My GC petition is approved, but I'm yet to get an interview date. Can I change my status to F1? So there's a little misunderstanding here as to what GC approval means. You've mentioned that your GC is approved. If your GC is approved, then you will not be called for an interview. Usually the interview takes place, always the interview takes place before you get the green card, not after. So it looks like your I-130 or I-140 may be approved, so your immigrant petition may be approved, but your 485 or adjustment of status, I'm going to presume that that's what you're asking about, and that is still pending and that you're waiting for a visa interview. You're waiting for a green card interview if you're in the country, or a visa immigrant petition interview if you're outside the country. Either way, you cannot file for an F1 um, change of status. So, change of status, I'm presuming then you're in the country. You cannot file for an F1 if you have an immigrant petition approved and you have adjustment of status pending, or even if you just have an immigrant petition approved, you cannot file for an F1 because in the I-539 form, the form specifically asks if you have an immigrant petition pending. And if you say yes, then they're most likely to deny both the B2 visas or F1 status or B1, B2 status or B1 status, because these statuses require that you have the intent to not to immigrate to the US. And obviously, filing for adjustment means that you have the intent to immigrate. So no, it's not possible to file for it is possible to file for a change of status, but it most probably won't get approved. The next question is a frequently asked question on my website. What type of questions are generally asked during a family green card interview? Well, it really depends on the type of interview, but generally, relationship questions are big. So they'll ask for what the relationship is, and they'll ask you to prove the relationship, especially if it's a marriage-based case. They'll ask questions like, where did you meet, who introduced you, when did you start dating, when and where you married, etc., etc. They might also ask, again, if it's a marriage-based case, your living arrangement, questions about your daily life, like who cooks, how many bedrooms in your house, do you watch any TV show together, etc. It can be anything. What is your spouse's favorite color, etc., etc. If you have any kind of family-based interview, whether it be brother, sister, or any kind of relationship, they'll always ask for finances. They want to make sure that you will not be a public charge. So they might ask for the affidavit of support, and they'll make sure that the sponsor has enough money to support you. So they might ask questions surrounding the affidavit of support. But if it's a family-based case, that is, it's a marriage-based case, they'll also ask for joint finances. Do you have a joint bank statement? Do you have joint credit card? Do you have joint retirement accounts? Who pays the mortgage, the lease, the utility bills, etc., etc. They will also check with family and friends if it's again a marriage-based case, whether you guys know each other. They'll ask for affidavits from family and friends to um, confirm the fact that you're living together and you're living as a married couple. Um, so these are some, of course, document-related questions can be asked, such as wedding pictures or birth certificates, depending on the type of case. So tips: always be honest. Review the documents before you take them to the officer. Review all your documents that you've already submitted. Bring to the officer's attention any anything that you see is a discrepancy. Always take originals, separate the originals from the photocopies. Try not to be nervous. Be confident, and you should be able to ace your interview. And with that, that brings us to an end to another episode of Ask Prashanthi. I truly hope that these questions we answered were useful for you today. Uh, Please do ask more questions. We want your comments so that I can answer those questions online, and not only you, but other people can benefit from your questions. So if you have a question and I haven't yet answered it, I will answer it in my next show. As I said, don't hesitate to reach out, like, subscribe to my YouTube channels and to my various other um, Facebook, Instagram handles, and I'm on LinkedIn as well. Thank you. See you again next week.